good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ozzy. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. And there has been a pretty recent uproar of bans and support issues going on. And Royale actually recently posted a Twitter post to talk about a really big issue that's been happening with exploits. If you've played the game even for a little bit, you know that there are going to be exploits in just about any game, but Royale specifically has experienced a ton of exploitative players, and they recently shared a post, and it says, hello students, we recently, maybe if I can show you guys what the post looks like, there you go, we Recently, we swept out a rather large third-party seller and confiscated a large amount of exploited diamonds and items. Unfortunately, it seems they've already set up a shop on a new account. A friendly reminder that adding extra items to a trade to make it look balanced does not make exploitative items legitimate. The issue isn't the trade value, it's where those items came from. Be careful when purchasing from third-party websites. Not only is this against Royale policy, but it also violates Roblox's terms of service. If a deal seems a little too magical to be true, it probably is. It's also worth noting that investigating exploited items, tracking bad actors, and reversing the damage they cause takes a considerable amount of time from our support team. Time spent dealing with these situations is time that could otherwise be spent assisting players with support tickets and other community needs. Stay safe and trade wisely. So one pretty popular response that I had seen to this, even TTRH, who is another Royale content creator, shared, wait, is this why support has been slower? Because I knew that they usually responded in about 2 to 3 days. Been wondering because I'm still waiting a response since I got hacked for all of my halos and high value items. And another user shares, it's really cool, but I think you guys need a separate team for this and not have support team working on such things. Royale shares, we actually just need scammers to stop selling exploited items for real life money. We recently made a pretty big breakthrough, and wiped out a huge chunk of one seller's inventory, so things should be better now. We're just warning players to be careful. For context, this seller had hundreds of thousands of sales. That's not a small operation. And if you watched one of my past videos, there was a video that I released that is like Royale resellers are smoking something, because they quite literally are on something. I don't know what, but to be able to resell things at a ungodly, unhuman price is insane to me. And this isn't the first time. There's many listings on Etsy and those kind of things where you can find people buying or selling Royale items, diamonds, and other things like that for US cash or other currencies. I do highly suggest not to interact with these, and while to some extent these aren't against the rules, as long as they aren't technically, I believe it depends. You can buy toy codes and things like that off of places like AliExpress and Etsy, as long as those are genuine and not scammed for, obviously. Which was, I believe, talked about in a couple other posts that I have. One person states, people wouldn't buy from third-party sellers if Gemma's shop has reasonable prices. Not trying to come off as rude, but her shop needs an entire rework. Royale shares, there's really no excuse for selling exploited items to minors. That said, I do agree Gemma could use a boost. We'll pass this feedback along. And then someone else, a couple other people have shared, one big one obviously being Royale inflation is still a big issue. It makes the game unenjoyable. We need other ways to complete the bingo and get toy items within the game, especially with the Valk set. Another player shares, please do try to take shop items in account when adjusting it. If someone wants to buy the Whimsy Witch heals for 80k diamonds in Gemma's shop, It's very expensive. Diamond sets alone are hundreds of dollars if you want to buy them with Robux. Another user shared, I can't find the official link to this, but it says people wouldn't be honestly buying from third-party websites if the price inflation wasn't crazy. We need normal values. Royale High states, or Royale High Valk states, this is the internet team, by the way. Keep in mind that this isn't like the support team, this isn't Barbie herself, this is just whoever owns said account. And they say, and players wouldn't be getting banned if they weren't buying exploited diamonds for real money. And our support team wouldn't be so backed up dealing with the fallout. These sellers are scamming players, damaging the game's economy, and creating extra work for everyone involved. We take that seriously. Oh, no, come back. One user also shared, is this about AliExpress sellers? It's very popular on AliExpress for people who have bought Royale High dolls to resell them on there. Or if they're sometimes they just specifically sell the toy code. So sometimes you can buy the dolls, or sometimes you can buy just the toy code if you don't want the doll. And Royale High shares, not related to toy codes if this is what you mean. And the baby doll person says, okay, thank you for explaining. It's really nothing technically wrong with people selling the dolls or the resellers and stuff like that. It's more the fact that you may find an Etsy listing of 1 million diamonds for $5 US. It is likely unreal. It's likely like not unexploited diamonds or unexploited items that they are going to be selling for you for your cash. And Royale High can't really give you your cash that you spent back, so all they can do is take away the exploited item, and now you're out $5 and whatever you bought. Another user shares, thank you so much for your hard work. Have you guys thought of adding a trade history for players? It may help a little. Royale High shares, we can pass this along. Thanks for the suggestion. And I do think that that is actually a really good suggestion. Many games, one even being Adopt Me, has a trade history, and you're able to actually see your trade history and report it from in the game. This can help if you were offline and you come back and you notice your entire inventory is missing and someone may have hacked you. As someone who has personally been hacked, and the only way that Royale High support was able to help me is because I had like actual like DM evidence of the person confessing that they did hack me. Like I was in it, like I knew who hacked me the moment I saw all of my stuff missing. I immediately knew who it was because of the way that that person had been treating me the past couple of days before. Do I know how they got into my account? No, but I do know that they were permanently banned from Royale High, at least on said account. So I think that it would definitely help if that was added. I was able to find a post that Juju also recently quoted. It states from Bloxy News, which states, Roblox creators can now ban a user's entire device from playing a game, stopping all accounts from joining on the same device. Juju puts skull emoji and it says, exploiters are cooked, pack it up. Which, if this is true, I don't obviously know how trustworthy the Bloxy News is, but if it is true, I do think that that would be a very useful update for exploiters. One user states, you forgot VPN and proxy exist. Juju says, that won't help you with a hardware ban, account ban, IP ban, hardware ban. It's much harder to work around. They state, okay, kernel controls exist only for the device. User and hacker can work with that if it hardware banned, then. Oh. Anyways, I'm sensitive. I don't know if I'm not reading this properly. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. It says, they can just make it appear as a new device without having a new device. The goal is to stop the majority of bad actors and make repeat abuse more difficult and layer defenses, not create a magical, unbreakable ban. No ban system is 100% effective. If you are able to create that, you'd be rich. Wolf says, okay then, but is banning a hacker even all that important compared to everything else they need to actually fix, like their actual moderation, slept situation, pedo hiding among them, illegal gambling similar to Minecraft problems, and Roblox economy issues of dev Robux 1 Robux equals cents. I find it very interesting that this argument is made because in my head, anytime that I see someone talk about how really useful a Roblox update is, people immediately jump to, oh yeah, but they have this issue and that issue and this issue and that issue, as if like they're running out of a argument here. Because don't get me wrong, it's Twitter, so everything, you know, opinions on everything is going to be different and people are going to start for no reason. Though I do think it's interesting that the moment that, like, someone's like, yeah, no, there's not a 100% way to properly moderate, it then becomes, oh, what about this issue? What about this issue? What about that issue? Which, as Juju says, and I think anyone can feel in this situation, you can't really say much or say which issue is more important, because they're all equally important. But to be honest, Roblox has been rolling out a lot of platform-wide changes recently. Another user states, the issue is that some exploiters are using codes to generate stuff in a game to scam others with. For example, Halos and Royale High and Pets and Adopt Me. Game developers can ban the devices themselves so they can't switch to an alt account and try again, but maybe again on another device. And I think that's kind of the main focus of that kind of update, obviously, if it is credible, is the fact that it's not meant to be a 100% solve. It's not meant to be a 100% fix. It's meant to help creators, even if it's temporary, because yeah, and I think backing up to what I had shared earlier on the Royale High post, how they shared that exploiter that they specifically banned, who had hundreds of thousands of trades that they had done and exploits that they had done, even then they shared that they had already made another account. So being able to use something like this, even if there's no obvious permanent way to get rid of the player, and honestly, it's fair that there's not going to be a permanent way to get rid of the player, it is a start to changes that do really, really have a positive effect. Even if there's a bunch of other platform problems happening behind the scenes or outside of this game specifically with Roblox, I do think that it is an update that is beneficial. I just hope that it doesn't end up being misused. Or end up leading to false bans. I do hope that it's not something that a lot of games can just have a robot do it for them or code do it for them, because coding, like, things are gonna make mistakes. Even humans make mistakes. People get false banned. You know, people get accidentally exploited, or they don't know that these things are happening. So I do hope that if that update is something that can actually come, I do think it'll help with this exploiting situation so much. I do definitely suggest watching my reseller video where I commented on a lot of the resellers. I do also have noticed that recently, the past couple of videos that I've made, the mic quality has been drastically different. I've been working really, really hard to try and fix my mic quality. I've had a lot of peaking issues. I don't always realize my volume control in videos, which is kind of a little bit more of a me problem. But I am trying really, really hard to try and fix my setup in the best way possible for content-wise. I did also hire a new thumbnail artist, so you will notice a lot of the new thumbnails that I'll be using recently, I am paying them. They are really, really cool. Her name is Davinia. You can find her on YouTube and TikTok. You can find her on just about every social media possible. She's also a Royale High creator, so she's really, really cool. I really suggest checking her out. And I am so grateful for her for helping make this thumbnail and the many more that she will hopefully make in the future. And without further ado, I'm glad to bring you this update. I am a little bit behind on Royale High updates. I am trying to catch up as fast as I can. Well, my life has been a little bit hectic. But if I do not get to see you guys later today, I do hope to see you all later tomorrow. And I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!